Welcome to the seventh season of 28 Days and Beyond.
The show where we talk about our history, our heritage, and our culture.
I'm Amari Johnson.
I'm Charisma. Welcome back. Hey, AJ.
Yo, welcome back. Rizzy Riz, what's up?
I'm trying to maintain. I'm trying to maintain. I
Yeah,
feel like all of us have been doing a lot of that given all that has happened since the last time we joined each other on 28 Days and Beyond. And it has been a
yo,
lot.
it has been a
It's been
lot.
a lot.
When I think about, how sometimes you'll see a picture and it might be a picture from like 2019 and you all hugged up with somebody and you're like, yo,
Yeah.
it's weird. Like that seems so far. We don't even get close like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like the
We
world has
can't.
certainly changed forever. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, we've been dealing with COVID-19 and a global pandemic and a shutdown where we've had stay at home orders and everybody is masked up and we're not allowed to be
Yeah.
out and about and we can't hug each other anymore. You can't spend time with
Yeah.
your friends. There's no indoor dining. There's no live music. There's no anything really besides
All
supermarket
the things that you
runs,
love
which I'm
most. Yeah,
grateful for. I know. I mean, I
besides,
feel like
yeah,
a
yeah.
supermarket run at this point is like an outing.
Yo,
That's like the
it's
only
really
outings I'm getting.
it's been I just, again, like since we've last seen each other here on 28 Days and Beyond, it's like none of us
Yeah.
could have seen. And then we were just, at that time, we were just a few weeks away from something that would definitely change our lives and the lives of generations to come forever. And we're still in the midst of it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah. And we had no idea. And it's so interesting because thinking back, when we first got the news, I kind of feel like everybody had a certain level of expectations like, okay, we
Oh
know
yeah,
that this is, this thing that nobody really knows about yet, but we'll get a handle on it. And I'm sure you remember we kept getting all these updates where it was like, okay, by April everything will be fine, everything will be open. Then it
yeah,
was May, then it was
yeah,
June, then it was like September, and then it was like,
yeah.
we're not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, that's just the truth of the
Not for the
matter.
foreseeable
And here we
future.
are, and
Yeah,
yeah, and here we are in 2021 now, and it's like we still don't have a handle on it, and 400,000 plus people have lost their lives, unfortunately, due to
right,
this deadly virus, and we still don't have a handle on it. We still don't really know what's on the horizon, or what's going to be the new norm if that ever happens.
right. I
It's
mean,
scary.
and then to add fuel to the fire, if you will. Yo, speaking of fire, this summer the country was
Oh my
on fire. The
gosh.
country was ablaze. I mean, Philadelphia,
Literally.
Philadelphia was a hotbed for
Literally.
all political protests around the murder of
Yeah.
George Floyd, and obviously a pent up aggression of all of the cases, right, of police terrorism that have been plaguing us for so very long. And I think in a lot of ways we saw a national wake up call in some respects. There was much wider
Yes.
participation in the protests, and they raged on for longer than we've seen. They raged on for
Yeah.
weeks and weeks, and really, sort of snowballed into movements that have been sustained much longer than we've seen, in at least in the recent past.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think it all kind of came together. I think it was a culmination of things, because we were all dealing with the pandemic and everybody is working from home and everybody is pretty much
Yeah,
glued to the television or some form
yeah,
of news outlet to try to figure out, like what to expect and what's coming next. I think a lot of the things that have been happening in this country that many of us have been very aware of because we have to be, because it's impacting our
yeah,
communities the most and impacting
yeah,
us personally. I think a lot of those things, because people didn't have an opportunity to be distracted or turn away from it because they're busy with work or travel or whatever the case may be. So it's like right in people's faces. So they had no choice but to say, "Oh wow, this is what's happening. This is what's been happening. This needs to change." And I think that is
it
part of
needs to
what
change.
fueled, more people coming together in terms of, making the changes that need to happen in this country and have had needed to happen for, you know, forever.
Without a doubt. And
So
all of it happened of all the years in an election year. So we saw all of
I
this sort
know.
of leading up to a contentious political election that dragged out over the
Yeah.
course of was like a week or so. I mean, to really sort of solidify it. Some crazy things happened all the way up until the inauguration just a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. And we are living in, at the very
It's been
least, some
insane.
interesting times. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's been insane. I feel like somebody opened Pandora's box, honest to God, like it was just like
Yeah.
all the things. And 2020 became a meme because it's just like so
Oh,
many awful things happen in 2020.
yeah.
Everybody's kind of
Yep.
just looking around and like walking like they're
Yeah.
walking on eggshells, like, what's next? We lost so many people in 2020, the election year, all these things that
Yeah.
people I feel like never thought would happen happened, and then happened
They happened.
repeatedly, and then it's like you catch your breath from one thing that happens and then something else insane happens. So,
Something else. Yo, I was fully
I was just
prepared for the zombie
grateful.
apocalypse.
So was I.
Yeah.
I started stocking up
Yeah.
on, I
Yeah.
mean, I try to keep a pantry full of stuff anyway, like canned goods and stuff,
Right.
but I really started
Yeah.
like stocking up. I wasn't one of the people that went crazy over the toilet paper and paper towels. I will say I wasn't
Yo.
that person, but I did stock up on
Yeah.
my soups and my water, and I bought water
Of course.
filtration systems and the whole nine. I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Let me be prepared.
Yep. Be
It's been
prepared.
crazy
You
though.
one of the things that you said earlier was sort of, people are bracing themselves, or at least trying to organize themselves for the new norm. And the reality is that, some folks are waiting for a return, right? Well, pretty soon things will be back to how they were. Others are like, look, things have changed forever and we got to get with it. We will never be able to do some of the things we've done before. You mentioned obviously
Nope.
something that we both share a passion for, live music, that, concerts
Yeah.
maybe change forever, touring, performances, all of that may be altered forever, and
Yeah.
so much more. Um, this
Yeah.
season on the show, I'm excited to be speaking with folks who are trying to innovate within their fields, folks who are trying to
Yes.
say, yeah, we have to adapt to the circumstances at hand, and we have to figure out
Yeah.
how it is that we are going to contribute to our community in a way that is uplifting, in a way that
Absolutely.
prepares us for this ever-changing situation, so we don't find ourselves, uh, you know, out of luck, if you will, with all the
Yeah.
things that are changing, all the things that
SOL.
are happening. I
Well, yeah,
you
because we
saw that,
have
right? I
to,
was trying
because
to.
yeah, and I saw you reaching for it. I'm like, here, let me throw my alley
Yeah,
oop real quick.
I do
The
appreciate that.
the truth of the matter is, I don't know that anything will ever go back to norm. I think, moving forward, things are going to be very different. I don't think it's ever going to be what it was in terms of travel, in terms of performances, like, us living with constant hand sanitizer and all these things. I think that's something that's just going to happen, and it's interesting
Yeah,
because I remember at a certain point, because I had a whole calendar worth of things with my band in particular. Uh,
yeah,
every couple of days, it was like, I was getting a text in the group text message telling me like the next gig was canceled, and that happened until nothing was left on the calendar for 2020. And now we have this new calendar that's tentatively set for 2021. And I think all of us are just kind of like crossing our fingers to try to figure out what's going to happen. And even with that,
yeah.
everybody's trying to do things that are outside. So I think that's going to be another push that happens where we're doing more outdoor activities, but there's still going to be limits to what we're allowed to do. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm hoping for the best. We do have the vaccine that's out now, and I don't know what that's really going to look like because that's still in its infant
Right, right.
stage. But
Yeah,
hopefully, we're making strides to try to get to be able to at least be within close proximity to each other, because that's why we're not in studio this
of
season with
course.
28 days and beyond.
Yeah,
I want to be able to
yeah,
like
yeah,
give
yeah.
my homie a pound from across
Of
across
course.
the chair, but I can't.
Yeah, yeah, can't do it. Well,
We have to drive a few
it's good to hear your it's good to hear your optimism. And
Yes,
I can't say I share all
sunshine.
that optimism, right? But I can say that no, but but that's why I'm excited about this season. I'm excited to hear how are people
Yeah.
interpreting what's happening, how are people responding to what's happening, and how are people getting out ahead of the curve. So we've got, obviously, as always, artists, educators, activists, entrepreneurs. So
Yes.
we've got so many different people across a wide gamut of
Yeah.
spectrums to really join us, and really about this topic. How are we going to move forward? So,
How
yo,
are we
Riz,
moving
let's
forward?
hop
Yeah.
into it. This is going to be an
Yes.
interesting season. I think it's going to be equally
Yes,
good,
it
just in a
is.
different way. And I'm really glad to be
Yes.
back here with
But
you.
we
And let's get
embrace
it going.
changes. Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
embrace changes here on 28 Days and Beyond, so it's going to be great. And I'm
of
looking forward
course.
to it too. Can't wait.
Well, this has been the first episode of the seventh season of 28 Days and Beyond.
The show where we talk about our history, our heritage, and our culture. We will see you next time.